Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Our latest adventure was a trip to North Carolina, where we attended streetcar bragging rights to watch some drag racing and do some podcasts with some locals. On our way to the event, however, we kicked off our podcast tour with a trip to Sunderwerks, and as many of you know on this channel, we have a significant lack of Porsches. So we got together with David Van Epps to show us around and tell us about exactly what it is they do.
Sunworks is an exclusive Porsche sales, service, restoration shop that's here in Cornelius, North Carolina, and we focus on keeping these beautiful vintage Porsches as well as more modern cars running and on the road. So we have a full upholstery, paint and body shop, as well as mechanical shop here in-house, and we'll give you a quick tour and show you around and see what we do.
As you can see, they work on all shapes and sizes of Porsches, but they do predominantly focus on air-cooled 911s. Whether it be period-correct restoration or a splash of personality, they're able to do it all when it comes to making an interior shine.
As you can see, we do, air-cooled cars, transaxle cars, a lot of Porsche, including modern Porsche. So this car behind me is a 2025 Porsche Cayenne, and the client couldn't order this in the color combination he wanted, so he brought the car to us, and we're actually doing an upgrade to the interior on this car and replacing that with a blue and white houndstooth color. It was gorgeous. It's going to come out beautiful.
Here's an example of a car that was stripped to bare metal and had a full ground-up restoration, with the engine being completely rebuilt and new upholstery, wheels, tires, and a canvas targa top as opposed to the original vinyl Porsche was known for, to really nail a much better feel and look to the car.
I'm sorry to get a fan blower here, so maybe you can't hear me, but Icon 61 356 Coupe, trying to deliver this car and wrap it up before August of 2025 when it celebrates its 80th birthday. This is a full restoration that we've done on this car. We did a lot of metal work, a lot of rust in this car. Suspension's getting hung on it. We'll be getting to his interior here pretty soon, but that one's coming to the end here. It's getting pretty close.
Here's another G-body with a wide body restoration and some other enhancements, with Sonderwerks doing the upholstery and the targa top on it. Take a look at these awesome sports seats. Before we go check out the rest of the shop though, let's check out some of the cars for sale.
In addition to the cars we have inside, I probably have that many or more sitting out here in the parking lot. And a lot of these cars are cars that are client cars that are waiting on service, and in some cases cars that I have here for sale. We do buy and sell cars here at Sunworks. We will find cars all over the country. We bring them in if they need a little help, cosmetic or mechanical repair. We do all that and then find the next caretaker for the car. Let's wander over to the body shop here and look at a couple of projects.
This particular car happens to be an 85 Targa that needed some rust repair, so they went ahead and stripped the car down, and it's going to need a good bit of cleanup before it gets painted back to the original black. From there, it'll be reassembled and go through the rest of the process once it gets its new paint.
Before I got to this shape, what kind of shape was it in?
Well, when I purchased the car, it was a running, driving black car that looked like it had a little bit of, patina and maybe a little bit of paint that needed repair. When I got the car and I started peeling back some things and looking at some things, it looked like it needed a decent amount of rust repair, unfortunately. That wasn't disclosed, and that happens in this business, and so you just make the best of it. So in this case, I think both of these rocker panels were in need of replace because they actually were rusted through all the way. Grafted in new panels into those, and now the car is getting ready to go to paint.
How long until something like this sees the road?
If I had no other cars but this to work on, it wouldn't take that long.
Right.
Unfortunately, with all the other cars that we have, this could still be a couple of months out. This car will go.
Well, it's not too shabby.
Yeah, it isn't, but sometimes these cars will take, we could spend 2 years or 2.5 years on a car to finish a car from front to back.
And that's kind of standard that I hear from a number of other shops is like, depending on how intense the restoration may be, it could be a year or 2 years.
Yep. So this one's kind of an interesting story. I think I told you before. This car is was fully restored. Beautiful car. In this white finish, but the paint was gorgeous on the car. The motor was very nice. The car was really well sorted and it arrived. And I'm sure the gentleman who delivered this car to us spent a decent amount of money on this car, but wants to take it yet to another level because this car had been color changed and it had been painted white over Bahama yellow. Bahama yellow was kind of a rare color for a Porsche. It wasn't as popular a color as others. So when you find a car originally this color, we're now in the process of sanding and stripping this back to its original bare metal, and we'll start again and repaint this car in its original Bahama yellow.
We then headed over to the other side to check out some more of the metal work.
A car that came as a fully functioning driving car in black.
However, it's going to need a good bit of metal repair. If you want to learn more about fabrication and design but don't know where to start, our partners at the High Performance Academy can get you going. With over 100 videos relating to motorsport fabrication, TIG welding, and 3D design, it's the perfect place to expand your skill sets. Listeners of the show get a huge 55% off discount, so go ahead and use the link in the description to get you started today. Let's get back to the show.
Kind of get a shot up in here, you can see the kind of rust that you're normally dealing with. So this is all going to have to be cut out and replaced. And that's what you normally find after you sandblast one, right? When this car came in, that was probably solid.
Yeah.
But it was thin and rusted. So by the time we take that rust off of it, you're really getting now that that's the only clean metal that's left in it. So this whole section of the car is obviously being replaced on the front of it.
So what's the process look like for fixing that up then? How long is the process and how time intensive is it?
Well, it's very time intensive. I mean, that's why the metal work takes a long time. It's the longest thing. And in some cases, we're either finding a reproduced part for this section, or we'll have a donor car that we've located that will be able to take this piece out of that hasn't been rusted or compromised, and then we can re-weld it back into the car.
And that's where you'll do stuff like you can drill out these spot welds, right? So like this is a new piece of metal in right here where this was repaired.
Correct. This whole front clip here is probably, largely got to get a lot done, and it takes a long time to both disassemble what's here and drill out the old spot welds and so on to be able to take the old panel out and then put the new stuff in. And, it's a lengthy process for sure.
Here's another car we talked about a good bit in the actual podcast episode. This is a chiffon white color, which they are currently trying to match a little bit better on a number of panels.
This is kind of one of these ones where I'm going out on a flyer because this would not be a standard Porsche interior in any manner, shape, or form. Wanting to do a few things that are just a little more special and unique, because personality is such a part of these cars. And this particular color, chiffon white, with this brown interior, which is what it had.
I really love this combination with the white.
Browns have they've become a bit more popular lately.
Yeah.
They really have. And some of these colors are coming back into vogue. And this one's going to be great because it'll also have a brown canvas target top for it that'll tie into the brown in the seats.
To the engine room.
So now we're in our engine room here. And,
where the magic happens.
Some of the magic is happening here for sure. Gareth is putting together a... what was this built to, Gareth? Was this a 3.2? What a 3.2. Yeah, so built to a 3.2 from a 3-liter car. We had to tear this motor down. The pistons and cylinders that were used by the prior builder were a little bit aggressive for the kind of driving this gentleman wanted to do. And each time it would start, it would flew a little puff of smoke because the pistons and cylinders are really set up for more of a race kind of setup.
Once they replace the pistons and cylinders to get this car a little bit more street-friendly, it'll make its way back to the customer. Let's get a closer look at upholstery.
Looking at different fabrics, different products, matching and so on. And so just like with paint, fabrics and leathers change color over time as well. So there's times when we're trying to match a color, and if I use the exact color that was called for in the car, it'll be too dark or too light or something based on the fact that the rest of the car is aged. So if I'm doing a repair, there's many times when I'll have to go to a book like this, literally just taking and holding up samples. And this isn't, these are all types of cars, Hondas and, Toyotas and Mercedes. And you're just really looking for the color match for the color that you're trying to deal with and get all that and get it ordered and then, integrate it in. These are different carpet materials that we can use. This one's called the Daytona weaves. This is very popular with what we do right now. It's kind of an homage to some of the earlier cars. This is counting square weave fabric, many different colors of that you see here. But then there's also woven leathers and things like that occur or are added to the inserts on these cars or the sidewall, the trim or side panels on the cars. And so I think I mentioned that Singer really kind of moved this into the forefront in Porsches, at least. Yeah, this stuff is all hand done, literally woven by hand. And so it's expensive. A panel of this just to do 2 seats is probably $2,500.
Oh, wow.
Just to do enough for the 2 seats.
And that's before labor, right?
Oh, yeah. That's only the material itself, where a hide of leather, it's probably going to cost $650. getting something like this is, that's just enough to do the center is really maybe $2,500.
Wow.
David is also not a stranger to using other unique types of fabrics.
Really liked this one, and we did a beautiful set of Recaro seats. This is actually a Paul Smith. He's a English designer, well-known English designer.
Okay.
And he's known for his stripes and socks, and this happens to be an upholstery fabric that I just came out gorgeous on a set of black Recaros that we did, and we used this for the inserts materials. And I like that kind of uniqueness on these Porsches. It really helps set them off.
What type of vehicles do you particularly work on? Is there any particular generation, any types of vehicles that you want customers to bring to you? What does the range and scope look like?
Well, we specialize in called air-cooled 911s, and that's probably 60 to 70% of our business is servicing those cars. We do modern Porsches, GT cars, you name it, Porsches. But the G-body cars, the cars between 74 and 89, because there are more of them, those are the cars we see a lot of here. So we do mechanical work on those, engine work, paint body, restoring those cars or getting those cars back to road-worthy status, which is kind of our mission.
Well, it's perfect. On that note, be sure to check out the full episode or full podcast here with Dave, and get to learn a little bit more about what it is that they do here. Dave, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks again for watching the show, guys. Be sure to go into the description down below and check out all of our sponsors. They are what make this show possible. It allows us to travel the country and talk to some really cool guests, so be sure to check them out, support them just like you support us, and see y'all next time.